Welcome back, lads and ladettes, to the FNZ 90+3 podcast, where free football supporters take a look into the dressing room, chatting to former professional footballers about their experiences on and off the pitch. I'm your host, Ashley Simons. If you haven't already, make sure you follow our socials. Just type FNZ Football into the search engine and you'll find us there. Tonight, I'm joined by the industrious pairing of Tux and Bex. Boys, how are we doing tonight? Firstly, let's have a look at Bex. Bex, you've got a Borussia Mönchengladbach shirt on there, son.
I have, yeah. The German team everyone loves but doesn't know how to spell. It's like a Wi-Fi password I think they've made light of recently. So, yeah, nice. Always got some good kits, good badge. But, yeah, got a fair few Bundesliga kits knocking around. So, there'll be
a team that you'd probably say are on the up in recent years.
Yeah, doing well. Good little side. So, yeah, keep an eye out for them, really.
Decent. And Tux, you've got another hat on there tonight, mate. What is that then? Do you know what it is?
Yeah, it's a brand called Tokyo Time. So yeah, they're a really good brands. I think they're from Liverpool. I think.
Not from Tokyo.
Yeah. No, they're not from Tokyo. No,
that's a bit tin pot then, if you ask me.
Yeah, it is, I suppose. But I've got quite a few of their hats, so it's not that tin pot.
You got it off the black market then, yeah? Off the back of a lorry?
No, on the website, mate. On the website.
Oh, you pay for it? Oh, dear. Let's get on to tonight. Tonight we're joined by a former midfielder who was promoted no less than 4 times in his career, representing the likes of Doncaster, Notts County and Bradford, plus a few more along the way. It's Ricky Ravenhill. Ricky, welcome to the show, mate. How are you doing tonight?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
No worries, mate. Ricky, as this is a fairly new show, you won't be familiar with the format. So let me just set the scene for you. Just imagine you're in a pub, you've had one too many beers and you're willing to share your whole career with 3 complete randomers. Is that okay?
Absolutely perfect, no problem.
Brilliant. Tux, you'll kick us off the questions, mate, so go for it.
Yeah, Ricky, thanks again for joining us on tonight's FNZ 90+3 episode. As our regular listeners are well aware by now, we like to start with an in-depth trip down memory lane into your childhood. So before we get on to your professional career, we just want to look at your youth sort of career, really. So take you through your childhood memories of football, perhaps with the family or attending matches following a team. Where did it all start for you?
Gosh, ever since I was really young, my passion was football. Everywhere I went, everything I did, just had a football at my feet. So it's just one of them where you see kids now, it's all they ever want to do and it's all they know. And in terms of following a team, I supported Everton for some strange reason. As a really young kid back in it'd been the 80s, early 90s. So I just remember the likes of, when I was really young, I remember the likes of sort of Lineker at Everton and things like that. So I'm making myself sound really old now, but yeah, I just took a liking to them for no particular reason. No, not one of them stories of your parents or your grandparents or following anything like that. I just, my own choice, just latched onto Everton and that was my team. My dad took me, used to take me a few times, and whenever he could do, we went and watched them. And that's always been my team since then, really. It's as I've got older, the passion for Everton. I've still got it, but obviously I'm not a mad crazy fan, but I still always, they're my team. They're the team I always go to look for all the time and see how they're doing.
So what's it like, obviously being a professional footballer, but then supporting a team such as a team like Everton? I mean, you obviously didn't play for them, but did your interest in following a team obviously diminish because you are actually a professional footballer yourself?
Yeah, you sort of have you sort of split. As soon as you're away from playing yourself, you still have that passion, and you're still looking for results on a weekend. You're seeing how they're doing. You get excited when they're on TV and go and watch them. And in the stands, you feel like you're a fan and that. So you completely switch off from when you're playing and your side of it to then obviously being a fan on the other side of it.
Yeah, so while doing my research, I can see you started your youth career and ultimately your professional career at Barnsley. I can only imagine it was an exciting time as a young player coming through the ranks and then being involved around the first team, but ultimately frustrating as you sat on the fringes of the first team while never getting the chance to show what you could do on the pitch at Oakwell. So talk me through that period at the start of your professional career.
So obviously pre that, I was obviously, I don't know if you knew, but I was obviously at Leeds in this centre of excellence from being a very young kid. Obviously, I was there up to 16, but they didn't take the option to keep me on when I left school. So I had a number of clubs call me when I got that news that broke my heart and thought everything was over the day I wasn't getting a deal at Leeds and everything. That's all I wanted to do. But I got a number of clubs ringing me off the back of it. And I opted for Barnsley. Obviously, it was quite local to myself. I'm living in Doncaster, big club. Got to the Premier League, 97, 98 when they got promoted. Yeah, so big times, big club, and very exciting times. Absolutely had the best time throughout my apprenticeship, and the lads that I was with, and the times we had and shared, and unbelievable. Like you said though, but frustrating at the end of it. It didn't really come to what I wanted it to. I was lucky enough to stay there for probably 5 years, I think, and 2 or 3 years as a pro after my apprenticeship, getting closer and closer, but never, like you said, travelled with the first team, got in a couple of squads, but never actually got the chance to get on the pitch and make my mark. So got to, what would I have been, sort of 20. And at that point now you'd expect sort of to be making your mark in football if you're going to do something. So I had to make a big decision, and obviously that was the point then when I left Barnsley. We had a serious conversation and we decided to shake hands and let me move on at that point.
Why do you think you didn't actually get the chance to obviously, make your bow at Barnsley?
I don't know. A number of issues. A very strong squad at the time. A time when they're going out buying players, the likes of Ashley Ward, and spending money on big people, bringing them into the club through like the Premier League, back down into the Championship. But a good, strong team wanting to do things. We had a good number of good young players on the fringes, and it just never seemed to happen. I got close, and I thought it would be my chance, but I don't know, a change of manager. I went through about 4 or 5 different managers, so it's starting the whole new process with a new one every single time someone comes in. And like you said, you always need that bit of luck. You need somebody to take a chance and just stick you in and see how you do. And while I got close and a few threatened to do it, nobody actually took a punt and stuck me in and see how I do. So it's just one of them things. I've seen it over my career with so many other kids coming through, and some get the chance and some just don't, and it just doesn't happen for them. And that's the harsh realities of football, I suppose. It is a very small percentage of people go on and get to where they need to be. And you do need that luck. You need somebody to like you, somebody to take a chance and to just give you a go.
Yeah, definitely. So just on your time at Barnsley then, you obviously played under, well, not played under, but, had Dave Bassett as your manager at the time. Iconic name within the game as well. So, I mean, what was it like to, kind of work under him?
That was amazing. Like you said, he's a big name in football, worked with some big players, some big teams, and he's achieved a lot. So I've got a lot of respect for the guy. I learned a lot from him, both in life and obviously in football terms. So, like I said, I've only good things that I've learned throughout my career off people like that. Where I could look back and say he never gave me a chance, I hold that against him, but I don't. It was just one of them things. Like I said, there's a number of players that don't cut the grade and don't make it, and there's no point being bitter. It's just one of them things. And he was a good guy, a good manager, and like I said, I learned a lot from him.
So, Ricky, you signed for Doncaster when they were a non-league club. Incredible to think that Donny Rovers were a non-league club for 5 years, at one point. Talk us through how you joined then.
So that all came about, obviously it's my hometown club, number one. So for me to go there and achieve what I did was unbelievable, and it's very close to my heart, and it's some special times that I had there. But it all came about from a reserve fixture with Barnsley against Doncaster. And the then manager, Dave Penny, actually played in the game, in the reserve game, for Donny. And we had a battle in midfield against each other and had a kick of each other, kicked a few lumps out of each other, and then came off the back of the game and then got a phone call from him, and just really liked, obviously, what I was about and how I did, knew it was my hometown club, and just asked me what was happening. And that sort of sparked the point where I started asking questions about myself, and I need to be playing first team football, and instigated the conversations at Barnsley that ended with us shaking hands and deciding that they would let me move on. And it was a no-brainer for me at that point to take up the option at Doncaster and go and give it a crack. Even though it was a non-league club, I needed to play in first team football and being in and around it, and it just seemed like the right move at the time.
Yeah, so like you say, you moved on to Doncaster, your hometown club. In your first season there, I think you made 11 or 12 appearances in the non-league. It was actually after a successful second season at the club. You helped Rovers to promotion back into the Football League with the playoff final victory over Dagenham and Redbridge, played at the Britannia Stadium, of all stadiums. I mean, a game you won 3-2 after extra time. Can you remember the day and its emotions?
Of course, yeah, it was absolutely unbelievable. It was my first taste of anything like that. They said there was a few questions. Why Britannia? Why we were playing? Why not Wembley? Why not? I know these days, I think all the non-league stuff's done at Wembley, I believe. I'm not sure. But at the time, they didn't do that then. It was just a random selected ground, and it was the Britannia Stadium. But what a day. The whole of Doncaster turned out. Off the back of a really good season, it just highlighted it perfectly. Everybody says the best way to go up is the playoffs. Obviously, it's you want to win leagues and stuff, but to have them moments and them special moments in playoff finals, and you'll never get anything like those days. They are one-off, unbelievable days that to see the fans so happy and the emotions and everything around that surrounds the whole club and the day is something I'll never ever forget.
Yeah, I mean, like you say there, that season was good, but the following season was much of the same. Getting promoted to what is now known as League One is a giant leap for a club that was playing non-league football not more than a season prior. You won League Two, Division 3 back then, straight off the bat. Were you all riding on the fumes of the previous promotion? What was the main factor to your success?
Yeah, definitely. We built something special the year before, and it just grew and developed from that. And like you said, when you're riding high and you're on the crest of a wave and things are going good, we just had the momentum, and it just carried on that year, and everything just went from strength to strength. We added obviously a few players and things along the way, but we kept the basis of the squad and the team together, and we just grew from there. We had a lot of younger players, such as myself at the time, Paul Green, and we just sort of just grew into a team that was, like I said, just added a bit of quality into it, and it was just unbelievable. That year, like you said, we went from strength to strength. We won the league, but it was amazing. But like I said, to do it in the playoffs the year before and have them special day is something cut apart from the rest. So a couple of unbelievable years, and ones that both I know I'll never forget, and hopefully the people of Doncaster and the fans of Donny will never forget as well.
Yeah, from your experience then, would you say the playoffs is more exhilarating than winning a title?
Yeah, obviously, you don't want to do it because of the uncertainty. And when you're losing a playoffs, there's nothing worse. When your season's extended and you're training every day, and other people are off on holiday, and you know it all, and it comes to nothing, then there's nothing worse than that feeling. But to have the other side of it's amazing. So although you wouldn't choose to go through the playoffs, the lucky ones that get to win at Wembley or in a playoff final is something that's very, very special.
Yeah, you take it every day of the week. Obviously, your first season in League One, you finished the season with 4 goals and 41 appearances. Doncaster finished 10th, only 5 points off the playoffs. Were you dreaming of a third consecutive promotion, dare I say it?
Yeah. That everybody wants to get to the Championship. I think, well, the Premier League obviously, but the Championship's like for me was always the holy grail. I had my aims on wanting to play in the Championship, and that year, riding off the back of what we'd done and going strong again and having that opportunity, obviously, of course, you dream and you think this could be it. We could just keep going here, and why not? But obviously, it didn't turn out to be. And we where we were at that point and how far we'd come was amazing. So you just have to be grateful for where you are sometimes. Yeah, you can't go on forever. It's not football's ups and downs, and let's not make no bones about it. There's probably more downs than ups. So you have to enjoy the good times, and when they're there, we certainly did.
So when Donny got to that point, then would you say? I think it's at that point in your career you played consistently in that season, and then was it somebody else came in and took your place? What happened after that?
The club got to a point where it has to evolve. It you'll see it now. It's the managers can't just keep playing same teams and same people. There's an expectancy from the supporters, from the club. As you grow, as you get bigger, budgets get bigger, and you start looking at players like, I remember Kevin Horlock came in. He was one who sort of forced me out.
Good midfielder at the time as well.
He's played in, he's an unbelievable guy. He's played for City in the Premier League, and so that's the sort of people I'm up against. So it sort of changes, and the dynamics do change, and rightly so. The club got ambition and they wanted to get to the Championship, so they're looking at different types of players now, and there comes a point where you just know that your time's done. You've done what you've needed to do for the club. It's gone to a new level. Things have changed, and it's time for you to sort of look for a new career and path. And that's the stage I got to. As sad as it was for me to leave my hometown club, and off the back of everything I'd done, you just know when the dynamics change and it's time to move on.
Yeah, it's fair to say that. We've spoken to a lot of players that probably wouldn't agree with that statement, but it's true. If you grow with a club to a certain point, you've got to know when to stop. I mean, your time at Doncaster came to an end after that, obviously. However, being a local lad, does it fill you with pride to think about all the good times you brought to the people you not only surround yourself with, but potentially grew up with?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I have nothing but good memories from my time at Donny, and like you said, I still can go downtown now and walk around, and people stopping me and asking me and saying what amazing years they were. And like I said, my mates, to have all my mates who were jumping around in the crowd that loving Donny, and I'm part of that special moment for them. So like I said, you can't take that away. I've got them memories. I've did what I did, and I loved every moment of it. Like you said, it's like you made a comment a minute ago. It is different for some people. You look at Coppinger. Some would say, look, his time would have been up, but it's not. He just keeps going from strength to strength to strength. And whoever they bring in, he's still the best player in the team. So I suppose every circumstance is different, but I just felt in my personal situation that I felt that was my time, and I didn't want to drag something on that was so special and it to end sourly or in any bad way, or me just phase out of the team and not do what I did. So I made that decision at that time that was right for me to move on, right or wrong.
Yeah, as Ash said there, you moved on from Doncaster, moving to Grimsby before moving on to Darlington. So just talk us through your time there. What was sort of, you mentioned there, players were coming in and surpassing you in the team. Was that about getting sort of more minutes again, establishing yourself, or was that aim of getting into the Championship the motivation behind their moves? Probably
for me at that time was being out of the team. And after the back of a few successful years and doing well, I didn't want to go back to playing reserve team football and not being in and around and being seriously considered to be playing games. I didn't want to play 5 to 10 games a season. I was now probably going on 24, 25, coming into the peak of my career. I didn't want to go back to that. So it was about playing as many games, building as many appearances as I can, and playing 40 games a season and enjoying being a footballer. So if it wasn't going to be there, then I had to look somewhere else, and it was just time to move on, really. I still had the year on my contract at Doncaster, so I jumped early. I think I went in the September, the start of that. I had another full year to go. Things could have changed for me. Some people said sit and wait, see how things go, but for me, I was just in a mindset that I just wanted out, and maybe I did jump. You look at the Grimsby move, didn't really work out. I didn't last there long. It wasn't ideal for me, so maybe I did jump and get the wrong move too early, but that's just my head space at the time, and that's what I made a decision to do. Yeah, and obviously you were at Grimsby and you went on loan to your next club, Darlington, and I believe you scored for Grimsby against Darlington in the same season, which must be quite surreal. But a thing I've noticed, doing my research throughout your career, a lot of the clubs you've signed for, you've had a loan spell before you've joined there. Is that something that you've aimed for going into a club, or is it just coincidence that's happened? The way it worked for me, it was sort of the procedure that went with it. So if I wasn't in a team, or if I wasn't happy where I was, then the easiest way mid-season was to sort of, you go out on loan, and then if you go on loan and you impress and things go well, then obviously the club that you're at are keen to make that a permanent deal. So they don't want to let you go back. So that's sort of how it goes. It's sort of like a trial for both of you. You go see if you like somewhere, you get in some games, they like what they see, and then they want to take you on a permanent deal. And it's just the process that I used to go down, and it was easier to do that mid-season.
Yeah. So would you say that's sort of an important step, that maybe something you pass on to other players nowadays? Maybe finding that place that you can maybe call home for a good period of your career before dedicating to a club. Because I think a lot of players may, for whatever reason, jump swiftly into a move without really considering their options. Is that something you'd probably advise players going forward?
Definitely, 100%. Like you said, I did that at Grimsby myself. I jumped into Grimsby. They showed some interest. It was local again. I wanted to get out of Doncaster. The money and everything was right for me, so I just went for it. I didn't really look into anything or look much about the background of anything, and that turned out not to probably be the worst move of my career at that time. But like I said, all the rest of them, I went, I saw what they were about, I fitted in, they liked me, I saw that they had future in it, and then I signed permanent at them clubs. So yeah, I would definitely advise that to other people, players.
Yeah. So your time at Darlington, you'd say, would probably put you back sort of well on the map and engineered your move to Notts County. And it's that famous Notts County, or infamous Notts County team, where they had the big investment come in. Sven Goran Eriksson was behind the scenes, and obviously had the infamous Sol Campbell incident. Did you meet Sol, or was he out the door before you got the chance to meet him?
No, I spent a good few weeks with Sol, however long he lasted. But like you said, the season was something again crazy for many reasons. It ended in promotion again and unbelievable times, but some of the stuff that went on that year, they should have had cameras following us that year, because it was crazy times. We've got the former England manager, who's an absolute top guy, by the way, Sven Goran Eriksson. Nothing but good stuff to say about him. Stuck by us through the whole thing, even though when everything was a scam, and he realised that he didn't walk away. He stuck by us and made sure we had the investment and we were stable before he departed. Sol Campbell turned up, must have not know what the hell was going on. I always remember the one game at Morecambe, he looked like a complete fish out of water. Some guy ran him ragged, and then we got on the coach, got spanked, got on the coach, all fish and chips because we're in Morecambe, and he looked at us like we were gone out. He couldn't believe we were eating chips again. But we said, this is what we do in League Two. When we come to the seaside, we eat fish and chips after games, and he still never got his head around that. But it was an unbelievable season for so many different reasons, and like I said, luckily enough, it stabilised at the end when Cottrell come in, and we went on an unbelievable run and won the league again that year. Yeah.
So when you took that move, obviously you've said your ambition was to get that championship move, and I think much was made of, I think they had a 5-year plan to get to the Premier League, let alone the championship. Was that sort of, when you looked at that as a career option, as a player, when you see sort of a club come in with, what you could see as a good level of investment, is that an opportunity that was too good to turn down?
Yeah, I thought it was an unbelievable opportunity. I heard at the time I signed that summer, all the jungle drums were in and rumours of this takeover, and the club was going places, and I heard about this plan and to put in place that they were going to invest massively and get the club up the leagues to the Champions, like you said, Premier League / Championship initially. And I just thought, what a great opportunity. They came in, showed interest in me, and I got the deal done that summer, and happy with everything, and everything looked unbelievable. And then it all just went. It turned out to be one big scam with investment and everything. But the time I had there and the stuff I went through and the people I played with and everything like that, again, is just another part of my career that will live with me forever. And met some fantastic people and great times.
Yeah. After that, you went on to another successful spell. You moved on to Bradford City, and I think everyone remembers that incredible story of Bradford getting to the Carling Cup final. Just talk us through, your time at Bradford. Another promotion with Bradford there, and I think you're well regarded by many Bradford fans at that time. Being part of a fantastic team, getting that huge club back on their feet. Just talk us through your time there.
Well, first and foremost, Bradford is a huge club, and just to have the opportunity to go and be a part of something there for me was an unbelievable opportunity again. So one I was never going to turn down, always get to grips with. When I first went there, the club was in dire trouble, really. And if you look at them, they were near the bottom of League Two, struggling in bad times. But obviously, Phil Parkinson went there just before, and he took me there. And he did an unbelievable job, turned the club around. And off the back of that, to go on and achieve, like you said, what we did was something that I don't think we'll ever see again. Personally, I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever get a club from League Two, the third tier down, fourth tier down, to get to a Carling final. I just don't think that will ever happen again. To beat a team over two, it's all right getting the one-off games. Teams, you see a lot of teams beat a lot of one-off games in big games. But we beat Aston Villa over 2 legs, home and away. That's for someone to do that off the back of beating Arsenal and Wigan and everybody else. Then I just think it was an absolutely unbelievable time. And like I said, I don't think that'll happen again. But not in my lifetime. I don't think I'll see that again. So something that to be very proud of, and another something I can look back on and be really proud that I've done in my career.
Yeah, I think everyone was a Bradford City fan that day. It was such an incredible story, and like you said, I can't see without some miracles any team doing that nowadays, especially with the golf. And even then, it's not even that long ago. The golf and class and money between the leagues is incredible. But yeah, so your time at Bradford again, another successful spell. Getting towards the tail end of your career, they had a few other spells of Mansfield, Northampton. So getting towards the tail end of your career, what was your thinking of sort of what were you sort of planning ahead to become a manager or a coach? Or
yeah, that was probably at the time when I started doing other things. And if I'm being perfectly honest with myself, at that point after the Bradford and them days when I'm sort of hitting 30, whatever it was, probably accepted the fact I was never going to play in the Championship. As hard as that was for me, I probably missed my opportunity. So it was probably just about playing for as long as I can, prolonging my career, looking after myself, and making sure that I enjoyed. People start talking to you then about play as long as you can, enjoy every moment. You're a long time retired. So that's in my head. That's all I've got in my head then at that point. I'm thinking, look after myself, do things right, keep my body in the best shape I can so I can play for as long as I can and enjoy every minute of it until it's over. And like you said, I started doing my badges and doing some coaching, trying to prepare for the future, really.
Yeah, exactly. So that takes us up to really where you are now. So what are you up to nowadays, Ricky? Are you looking to progress further with your coaching, maybe go into a managerial role in the near future, or just stay as a coach?
So obviously at the moment, I'm assistant manager of Middleover, which we play in the Northern Premier League, which is 2 leagues below the conference. So obviously semi-professional, all the lads have jobs and stuff. But I'm still in the game, I'm still involved in it. Loving every minute of it, working with my close mate who's the manager there at the moment. Yeah, we've got aspirations. We want to go on. We want to try and prove ourselves. We've started lower down. A lot of managers players get opportunities to go in at higher levels and prove themselves. But we're doing it this route. We've dropped down the levels and we're starting at a lower level to try and prove ourselves and what we can do, and hopefully get noticed and try and work our way up in that respect. Yeah,
I think that's a great step for you to take. So obviously you're working with these semi-professional lads, like you say, they're all working as long as playing. What advice do you give to them? Is it about taking the opportunities when they come? You may, like you said, it's having in your career, you were maybe at Barnsley, you didn't have that person who didn't give you the opportunity. Is it about taking the opportunity with these lads? You might have a really special lad who you believe in could go and do special things. What sort of advice have you been giving the boys down there with your professional knowledge?
I'm just trying to encourage and make sure they make the most of every opportunity they get. And like you said, I want the best for the kids. There's some very talented players that I'm working with at the minute, like you said. And although you're never going to get everyone through and you can't push everybody, but there's certain players there that have really surprised me, that are playing at a level that have dropped out of the game probably been in academy clubs as apprentices and young pros and dropped out of the game. And just for whatever reason, not had the luck. But some players I know can play in the Football League just with a bit of luck and a bit of guidance. So my mission is to do as well as I can for the club and to make sure the club are progressing. But if I can go on and help some players rejuvenate the career and get moved back into the league or back up the divisions and kickstart their careers, and then that's what I want to achieve as well. I want to see them fulfill their dreams and what they want to do, and not just give up on it because they've had a knock at an early stage in the career.
Yeah, I think that's all it takes is someone to believe in them and give them that little bit of guidance. And
they've come off the back of a knock. Someone said they're not good enough. Someone's released them, but football is just people's opinions at the end of the day. Everyone's got a different opinion. So if I can make them believe in themselves again and not give up on it, then that's what I'm going to do and make them try as hard as they can.
Yeah, I think I totally agree with you there, Ricky. And, it's a fantastic thing you're doing. You may not have achieved your dream of getting to the Championship, but I think many fans from the clubs you've been at can remember some of the fantastic seasons you've given them. And maybe you can help us make our dream come true. We're looking for one player on this podcast. He's been really slippery. Can't get a hold of him. Have you ever played with, or do you know, Dele Adebola?
No, I don't. I played against him. I don't know him personally, but I probably could get hold of him. I probably know somebody who does know him. Yeah,
he's a slippery individual. He's a slippery individual. We can't get hold of him.
Is he avoiding?
Yeah, I think he might be blagging. He might be sort of airing us, but we'll try. We'll keep trying, won't we, Ash?
Yeah, we've had a few inroads. We
I've
had
got contact with him. Have you spoke to him directly, or
we've tried to contact him directly, but we don't seem to be getting anything from him. But we have spoken to a player recently who was actually teammates with him. So the first player we've actually had on the channel that was teammates with the guy out of all the people that we've spoken to. And we're just hoping that one pays off. But look, Ricky, anyway, let's go back to tonight, mate. Thanks for coming on. It's really appreciate you coming on and sharing your stories, obviously with Doncaster and Bradford. Some real highlights there for any of those fans. So look, appreciate it and take care in the future, all right?
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on. Pleasure.
Thanks, Ricky.
Cheers, mate. Thanks, Ricky.